Oh, Miss Assistant, what are you doing here? Hikari asked you to check on me? She's been calling me for 2 hours. Oh. How'd I end up like this? Well, it all started when... Okay, so I have 1 order of cream of broccoli soup with extra popotos for Yayake and 1 order of tomato soup with ketchup and beets for Erasmus. Ew.
Yes. Blood soup. My favorite.
Don't mind Erasmus. He gets this way when he gets hungry. Thank you for bringing our food. Say, would you be interested in joining our guild? You can learn all about black magic here. Who knows, maybe someday you'll become a distinguished black mage.
Me? Using black magic? Okay, I'll do it.
Introducing the Black Mage. One of Final Fantasy's most iconic jobs, the Black Mage brings a plethora of fire, ice, and lightning spells to the field of battle to decimate its foes. If you like explosions, then this is definitely the job for you. Let's go over the pros first for this Harbinger and Fiery Death. For its first pro, the Black Mage is unmatched by its spellcasting peers when it comes to utilizing high damage spells. It is able to dish out top tier single and AoE damage thanks to direct damage spells like Fire 4, Flare, and Foul, damage over time spells like Thunder 3 and Thunder 4, and proc buffs like Firestarter and Thundercloud, both turning their respective spells, Fire 3 for Firestarter, and any of the Thunder spells for Thundercloud, into instant cast spells that you can weave into your damage rotation. They also will not cost mana if cast this way. Thundercloud in particular deals the full damage of the Thunder spell used up front, while additionally reapplying the dot to the enemy, making it a great damage boost for your rotation. Casting all these spells eats up a lot of MP. Luckily for the Black Mage, Humble Ice allows it to practically never run out of MP. Black Mage receives the Humble Ice buff, which gives it a significantly enhanced MP regen whenever it casts any of its ice-based spells, with Blizzard 3 giving the maximum 3 stacks of Humble Ice that a Black Mage can have at any one time. With all these strengths, the Black Mage does have a couple of flaws against it. The first shortcoming the Black Mage has is that it has no group utility outside of a couple of role actions. All of its buffs are for its own self and do not benefit the party in any way. The Black Mage is only good for its damage unfortunately, but luckily it can bring the pain in spades. One fatal flaw cannot be overlooked however, one that more than balances it out with its other spellcasting DPS peers. The greatest con against the Black Mage is that it is highly immobile. The Black Mage has no natural instant cast direct damage spells aside from Scathe, and absolutely no instant cast dot spell. Essentially, all of a Black Mage's damaging spells must be cast. This is alleviated a little bit with procs such as Thundercloud and Firestarter, which were mentioned earlier, as well as the triple cast spell, a self buff with a 60-second cooldown which allows 3 spells to be cast instantly. However, outside of these, the Black Mage must stay put to deal its damage. Its leyline skill even promotes this, as you must stay in the leyline circle in order to benefit from the increased spellcasting speed buff that it provides. This inability to move around freely is a huge liability in encounters that have many ground target mechanics, which are basically all the N tier raid encounters. With all that being said, the Black Mage is still highly viable, so if exploding things is your cup of tea, the Black Mage job could be the right job for you.
You want me to beat up marmots? It's too easy. Ooh, maybe that turtle will give me a challenge. Alright, turtle. Today's the last day of your life. Ready to die. Lizard, ow. Lizard, ow. It hurts. And when I woke up, I was already here. Oh, wait a minute. That book. Are you an arcanist now? Does that mean you're trying to be a summoner? Ooh, neat.
Enter the Summoner. Yet another classic staple of the Final Fantasy series, the Summoner is a pet-using, highly mobile, magical DPS class that can be a clutch job when bad things happen. Let's go over the pros first for the champion of the Eggies. The summoner's most important advantage over both the Black Mage and Red Mage is its mobility. Unlike the other two spellcasters, the summoner can deal lots of damage while on the move. This makes dealing with mechanics while still doing damage for summoners a cinch. This is made possible through its arsenal of damage over time spells such as Bio, Miasma, Shadow Flare, and Tri-Disaster, instant cast spells such as Ruin 2, Fester, Pain Flare, and Ruin 4, and its pets, the Eggies. An Eggie itself can also be buffed to boost its damage. The summoner can also completely dictate when an Eggie uses its special skills when using the Obey Pet skill, and can also command the pet to use its ultimate skill through the Enkindle command. Speaking of Eggies, the summoner can also summon Demi Bahamut, the king of all dragons himself, that replaces your current Eggie and stays on the field with you for 20 seconds. During that time, every action performed toward a hostile target is matched 1-to-1 with a Worm Wave from Demi Bahamut, a 160 potency attack. With the Enkindle Bahamut command, Demi Bahamut can also be commanded to use his signature attack, Hawkmorn, a 680 potency attack that damages all enemies in an area. With a 13-second cooldown, this skill can be used twice while Demi Bahamut is out, once as soon as you summon it and once more 13 seconds later. Lastly, as a final advantage specifically over the Black Mage, a summoner has two supportive skills that can aid a party. A summoner is able to resurrect fallen allies. This makes the summoner not only a potent spellcaster, but also a clutch supporter if disaster strikes and the healers of your party go down. A summoner is also able to boost the damage of its party members by 2%, and the healing done by 5% with its Aether Pact skill. These two skills give the summoner a bit of group utility. While having all these good things going for it, the summoner has one awful shortcoming. Its damage is relatively low. To balance out the fact that it has extreme mobility and has access to pets, the summoner's damage is quite lackluster, even when pushed to the limits. Its burst damage, while very respectable, cannot compete with a Black Mage's sustained pure destructive power. Still, if you prefer a highly mobile ranged magical DPS class with some support potential, the summoner is a good choice.
Oh hey, let's go on an adventure. Come on, it's been a long while since we both went on one together. What do you say? Yes, it's gonna be so fun. Aw crap, what am I gonna do? Hikari's gonna rip my head off for flaking on the deliveries. Oh, a text! Oh hey, it's from Miss Assistant. That's rare. Let's see what she wants. Narrator got beat up again. Please come save us. Okay, thanks, bye. I might as well go over there and save them. Here comes the Red Mage. Arguably the most stylish job to ever exist, the Red Mage is a hybrid spellcaster and melee fencer with access to damaging magical and physical attacks, while also bringing in some helpful party support skills. Let's take a look at the pros for the Crimson Duelist. For its first pro, the Red Mage sits at a good balance between damage and mobility relative to the Black Mage and the Summoner. With its dual casting ability, a Red Mage not only performs a quick burst with 2 spells back to back, but also gives itself a couple of seconds to make any necessary positional readjustments as it waits for the global recast cooldown to pass to cast another spell. It also has 2 instant cast spells that can be cast on the move. The first of these skills is Flesh, a 420 potency single target attack that summons deadly magical swords that home in and impale the enemy. The second is Contre Sixth, a 300 potency AoE attack whose potency diminishes by 10% for each additional target. Adding to the Red Mage's mobility are its melee skills, Riposte, Zuershao, and Redoublement. It can perform a devastating enchanted 3-attack melee combo totaling a potency of 970. Further following up with either Verflare or Verholy gives you a 4-chain attack that does massive damage all while being completely mobile. The second advantage that the Red Mage has over both the Black Mage and the Summoner is its ability to bring a party back from the brink of failure with both a resurrection spell of its own, as well as a very potent heal. Veraze allows the Red Mage to resurrect any fallen party members much like a Summoner can. However, unlike the Summoner, a Red Mage can instant cast multiple Verazes if need be to save the party from a total wipe thanks to its dual casting ability. The Red Mage can also do decent spot healing with its Vercure spell, a 350 potency heal which can also be dual cast, essentially giving a nice 700 potency spot heal should the need arise. The Red Mage brings one more support skill to a party.
With its Emboldened skill, the Red Mage boosts its own damage by 10% while also boosting the physical damage dealt by nearby party members by 10% for 20 seconds. The Red Mage may seem like a powerhouse with all these advantages, but in truth they have a couple of flaws that keep them from breaking into the current raid meta. The first flaw is that its damage output isn't too high. While Dualcasting may seem like an overpowered ability that lets a Red Mage cast 2 spells for the price of 1, it does not actually do this. All Dualcasting does is front load the damage of the second spell. Although it allows the second spell to bypass the cast time, the recast time still comes into play, essentially making your DPS the same as if he had hardcasted that second spell right after the first. Dualcasting is only good for mobility, not damage. Also, the Red Mage completely lacks a damage over time skill, meaning that you are doing absolutely no damage during your downtime phases. The second flaw is that, once an encounter is memorized and is on farm mode, there is no more need for the additional cure and raise support that the Red Mage brings. In fact, in some situations, using these skills are a liability as they not only consume time, but also a large portion of a Red Mage's MP. And unlike the other 2 Spellcaster jobs, a third con of the Red Mage is that it has no way to replenish its MP outside of the Lucid Dreaming roll action and its own natural mana regen. MP is a premium for a Red Mage, and it cannot spend this valuable resource recklessly, or else the Red Mage neuters its own damage output, becoming dead weight to the party. Keeping those flaws in mind, a Red Mage is still viable for any and all kinds of encounters. Just keep an eye out for your MP bar and do not get yourself overly concerned about another person's HP bar. Remember, a Red Mage is a DPS class, not a healer. Well, that's a wrap for this comparison video. Out of the 3 spellcasters, I personally prefer the Red Mage over the Black Mage and the Summoner. Most of the content I do involves pugs mainly, so having that extra heal and raise available to me has always served me well. This combined with its great balance of mobility and damage sets the Red Mage apart from the other 2 for me. My second choice is definitely the Black Mage, because explosions! If their mobility ever improves in later patches, I might consider switching over to it as my spellcaster main. Summoner unfortunately feels too underpowered for my taste. Hopefully they get more improvements soon. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch my video. Please like and share with your friends, and also please subscribe to my channel. Press that bell icon as well to get notifications on my latest uploads. Until next time, take care as always.